Good afternoon, students. Welcome back. For question 3, we are asked to graph the system of inequalities. We can go ahead and put this system to be inequality 1 and inequality 2. So the next thing you, of course, when you have your graph and you want to choose a suitable scale, so you go ahead and you draw your graph, X and Y, and we actually want to choose a suitable scale. This is 70. So maybe let's say 1 cm to 10 units, right? Let our scale be 1 cm represents 10 units on both axes, on both the X and Y axis. So we can call this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, right? And we can 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, negative 10, negative 20, just to write something here, negative 10, negative 20, negative 30, negative 30, okay. Now, for the first one, we see that y is less than x. Okay, this means, of course, like you would do when you graph inequalities, when you first of all have y is less than x, if you have the x-intercept and the y-intercept, okay, please, you need to view the videos, you need to view my earlier videos on graphing inequality so you can understand this one. You'll see that this will be 0, 0. If you have the x-intercept and the y-intercept, if I represent it like this will be 0, 0. When x is 0, y is 0. When y is 0, x is 0. Right? And even if you have it as when x is 1 and when y is 1, you will still get 1, 1. If you have it when x is 1, when x is 2, and when y is 2, you still get 2, 2. Now, this and this, the main thing is to have the intercept. When you have 0, 0, you already know it's going to pass through the origin. That's what you should know. It's going to pass through the origin. Now, the next thing you want to find out is to make sure that after it passes through the origin, it should match. 1 for x should also match for 1 for y. Right? That's the next thing you want to do. Then another important thing you want to be sure is it going to have a positive slope or will it have a negative slope? A positive slope, of course, is uphill, like an uphill, you're climbing uphill. Negative slope, you're sloping down, you're climbing downhill. Okay, from the way that this is written, if you recall the equation of a straight line, your mama ex-boyfriend, that's y equal to mx plus b. You will see that this m is the slope. So if you can put it like this, if you assume this to be an equation, y equal to x, you will see that this means 1, that the slope is 1. Right? If we don't put anything here, this means the slope is 1. So we have a positive slope. If this was y equal to negative x, then it will be a negative slope. Right? But we don't have any negative, so this is a positive slope. So what we now do is, we want this to be like this, and because this has no equal sign, it will be a dotted line. It's not going to be a solid line, so because there's no equal sign. So you want this to go ahead, you use a ruler, don't use freehand like I'm using, and make sure it passes through the origin, and on top of it you write y less than x. Okay, now you want it in a way such that when you draw it, 10, 10, 10 will come in 10, 20 will be in 20. When x is 20, y will be 20. You want it that way. And the same thing with the negatives, assuming. So you want to draw your line in such a way that when you even make 30 here, if you choose the point 30, you should stop at 30 as well. You want to draw it that way. You want to draw it to be proportional. You don't want to draw it to lean like this or like this. You don't want to draw it to lean like this or like, you want to draw it to be proportional so that each 30 will correspond here. Okay, so that is for the first one. Now the second one, we want to find the x and y intercepts. The second one. For the second one, x plus y less than or equal to 70. If we find the x and y intercept, when x is 0, what is y? And when y is 0, what is x? This is easier, but you have, when you view the previous video, you will see what I'm talking about. So when x is 0, y will be less than or equal to 70. Okay? Y will be less than or equal to 70. And when y is 0, x will be less than or equal to 70. So x will be less than or equal to 70 when y is 0. So you come to 70 here. When x is 0, y will be less than or equal to 70. This is 70, and this one is 70. Right? And this is a solid line because there is an equal sign here. So use a solid line. So you draw this. You make sure you use your ruler to draw it. Don't use freehand like I'm doing. And on top of it, you can write x plus y to be less than or equal to 70 to show that inequality. Okay. Now, you will now notice you now shade it. You shade. Okay. You shade. Now, for the first one, when y, you want to shade to find out what region satisfies the inequality. So for the first one, y is less than x, right? You see that y is less than x will be, this is greater than, this is less than. Okay, in this case, this is greater than, this is less than. Let me just show you what, when I learned this in secondary school, this was the way I learned it, you know, greater than, less than, greater than, less than. Greater, if you're looking this side, this is greater than, less than. If you're doing it this way, this is greater than, less than. Okay? Like this is greater than, less than. This is greater than, less than. This is just the second method. The first method was the method I used in the previous video. Just compare it. Compare it. All if you look at this second one, for instance, the things that are less than 70 will be down. 60, 50, 40, less than 70. And the things that are less than 70 this way would be to the left. Okay? That's the first way. But the second way, if you want to do that, this greater than, this less than, this greater than, this less than. Yeah. Anyway will be fine. It just depends. Just make sure that you always check the inequality sign. That's what you always want to do. Okay? So actually we'll see that the region that satisfies this inequality will run around here. This, you shape this like this, because this is less than. And then for this is less than, so you have it this way. So if they now ask you what region satisfies both, now this region will satisfy both inequalities, right? So it's going to be from here. It's going to be from here. It's going to be all these regions here. The region here. I'm using a green marker to do that. It's going to be this region where they intersect. This region. Okay? All right. Thank you for listening, and in the next segment we will talk about the number 4. Thank you.